Okay, what do you mean by selection? Actually, selection is nothing but if there are options are available, we can select some options from that selection, right? Like you can select one option, or you can select if there are only one option is available, you can select that option or you can skip it. That means you can take that option or you can skip that option. If there are two options are available, you can take one option based on a true condition, or if the condition is false, you take another option. That is two-way selection. And if there are so many options are available based on the condition, if that is true, we select the one out of so many options. So that is called a multi-way selection, right, ma?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so selection can be, it can be one way, it can be two-way, or it can be multi-way, right? Okay, Nana, so the third one is called a multi-way selection. Okay, and increase in the voice.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So one-way selection, two-way selection, multi-way selection. So one-way selection can be implemented with simple if. Two-way selection can be
If
else. Yeah. So multi-way selection can be
nested if
else
if ladder which conditions.
Yeah, very good. Else if ladder or nested if else or switch statement.
Sir,
Right, na? One second. కనిపిస్తున్నామా?
మీ ప్రొఫైల్ కనిపిస్తుంది.
నా ప్రొఫైల్ కనిపిస్తుంది. వైట్ బోర్డ్ కనిపించట్లేదమ్మా.
ఇప్పుడు కనిపిస్తుంది సార్.
Okay, ma. So that's the selection, na? It's like a one-way, two-way, or multi-way, right? Okay, so coming to the one-way selection, right? Coming to the one-way. So one-way selection can be implemented with if statement. So if syntax is if condition, if that is true, we'll execute some set of statements. Statement 1 to statement n. Okay, so that's it. So if I want to draw a flow chart, I'll check a condition. If condition, right? If this is true, we'll execute a statements. If it is after executing, you'll just come down. If this is false, you just keep the statements. Right, ma'am? Can you see the screen, ma?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Wait. Anna, can you see the screen? Can you see the program?
Yes, sir.
Wait a sec, ma. If someone is flying, this fellow, see, he's climbing. Nana, make a program ఏమన్నా కనిపిస్తుందా అది? ఏమ్మా? ఓకే, మళ్ళీ రాస్తున్నాను చూడండి అమ్మా. It's like this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I have declared a variable called ch over here. Okay, I am asking. Okay, enter y or n. Okay, so scanf address of ch. If ch equals to y, printf swec. Otherwise return 0. Okay, so can you guess the output for this program? Emma, unnara?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so anyone can you guess the output?
It depends on what you give, no, sir. Y or n.
Yeah, so if I give y actually, I say it's like if I enter n, spec doesn't get printed, right? So that means if this is true, we are executing this. For false, we are not doing anything, right? That is the logic of a simple if, right, ma? Right?
Yes, sir.
So that is the logic of a simple if. That means you perform something if the condition is true. You don't do anything if the condition is false, right? So this is called one-way selection, right? Hello, koncham close cheyandi amma doors.
Take my glasses.
Okay, amma. So that's about a simple selection, and a simple selection means we perform something only for the true action. There won't be anything for the false action, right? So if I want to do something also for the false action, then we go for the if else, right? So if else is nothing but if condition, if it is true, we execute the set of statements, statement 1 to statement n,
N.
else
Fun.
God, it got stuck. Okay, so for else part, there will be another set of statements. Statement 1 to statement n, right, ma? So we call this as true block. Guys, can you hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no. So if దగ్గర ఉన్న దాన్ని ఏమంటాం నాన్న ట్రూ బ్లాక్ అని చెప్తాము. ఎల్స్ దగ్గర ఉన్న దాన్ని ఏమంటాం నాన్న ఫాల్స్ బ్లాక్ అని చెప్తాం, right? So if I want to draw some flowchart for this, we'll use rhombus for condition and one handle for true and another handle for false, right? You know all these things. మీకు ఇవన్నీ ఉన్నాయి కదా? This is true and this is false. So this is the true block and this is the false block, or you can write set of statements, and this is the if condition, right now? So this is the two-way selection, and there are so many applications, there are so many programs on this true and block. Okay, so you can see so many programs on that if else, right? Then we got the multi-way selection. Okay, the next one is called multi-way. So multi-way nested if. Okay, so can anyone tell me what is the syntax, ma? If condition 1, if it is true, we'll write if condition 2, if that is also true, we execute some set of statements, right? Else we execute another set of statements, and if the first if is false, we'll have else for that, and in the else we'll have another if, and there will be condition 3, and if it is true, we'll have some set of conditions. If it is false, we'll have another set of conditions, right?
Yes, sir.
So this is called a nested if else. So this can be of different types, nana. Like manki nested if else వచ్చేసి ఏంటి అంటే ప్రతిసారి if లో if else ఉండాల్సిన అవసరం ఏం లేదు నాన్న. అంటే మనం ఏం చేయొచ్చు, ఇలా వచ్చేసి నాకు if ఉంది అనుకోండమ్మా, if కండిషన్ ఉంటే దీని లోపల ఒక నార్మల్ if పెట్టేసి అది ట్రూ అయితే సమ్ కండిషన్స్ పెట్టేసి క్లోజ్ చేసేసి ఎల్స్ పెట్టి ఇలా పెట్టేయచ్చు. అర్థమవుతుందా? ఇదేంటి ఇఫ్ లోపల సింపుల్ ఇఫ్ పెట్టినట్టు. ఓకేనా? అండ్ ఎల్స్ లో వచ్చేసి మనం ఏమీ పెట్టలేదు నాన్న, రైట్? ఇది ఒకటి. లేదు అనుకుంటే ఫస్ట్ ఇఫ్ ని నార్మల్ గా రాసేసి అండ్ దీనిలో వచ్చేసి ఎన్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ రాసి ఎల్స్ దగ్గరికి వచ్చి విత్ ఇన్ ద ఎల్స్ యూ కెన్ రైట్ ఎనదర్ ఇఫ్. దిస్ ఈజ్ కండిషన్ 2. ఇది వచ్చేసి కండిషన్ 1 అనుకుంటే ఎల్స్ లో కండిషన్ 2 పెట్టుకోవచ్చు నాన్న. హియర్ యూ కెన్ పుట్ సమ్ స్టేట్మెంట్స్, ఎల్స్ కూడా పెట్టుకోవచ్చు. అర్థమైందమ్మా? ఇదేంటి, వాట్ ఈస్ దిస్? ఫస్ట్ ఏంటి నాన్న? ఇఫ్ ఎల్స్ లో ఇఫ్ పార్ట్ లో సింపుల్ ఇఫ్, రైట్? వాట్ ఈస్ దిస్ సెకండ్ వన్? ఇఫ్ ఎల్స్ లో ఎల్స్ పార్ట్ లో ఇఫ్ ఎల్స్, రైట్? మనం స్టార్టింగ్ లో ఏదైతే మనం స్టార్టింగ్ లో రాసామో దట్ ఈస్ ద అల్టిమేట్ అన్నమాట. ఏంటిది అది? ఇఫ్ లోపల ఒక ఇఫ్ ఎల్స్, ఎల్స్ లోపల ఒక ఇఫ్ ఎల్స్ అన్న. దట్ ఈస్ ద కంప్లీట్ వే. అలా వద్దు అనుకుంటే ఇఫ్ లోపల సింపుల్ ఇఫ్, లేకపోతే ఇఫ్ లోపల ఇఫ్ ఎల్స్, రైట్? లేదు ఎల్స్ లోపల ఇఫ్, లేకపోతే ఎల్స్ లోపల ఇఫ్ ఎల్స్. ఫైనల్ గా ఏంటిదన్నా ఇఫ్ లోపల ఇఫ్ ఎల్స్ ఉంటుంది, ఎల్స్ లోపల ఇఫ్ ఎల్స్ ఉంటుంది. అది మనం బేసిక్ గా చెప్పేసాం. ఇవన్నీ డిఫరెంట్ వర్షన్స్ అన్న, రైట్? ఓకే, సో మనం ఏది ఎప్పుడు వాడతాం నాన్న వచ్చేసి? హౌ కెన్ యూ డిసైడ్ టు యూస్ విచ్ వన్? ఏమా? How you know? Because we are the ones who are writing the program and we are the ones who are implementing some logic. We know that which one to use when, right? Based on the application, based on our requirement, you can use any of these things, nana. So adi decide chestunedi maname. Ardhamainda? అంతేగాని ఇఫ్ ఎల్స్ రాయాలి అని ఏమి మనం ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాయం నన్ను వచ్చేసి. When we are implementing something, when we are writing something, so based on our application or based on our logic, we select the one which is suitable for us, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, so that's the thing nana వచ్చేసి. And LC fladder అంటే ఎలా ఉంటుంది నాన్న? else if ladder. So else if ladder can be if condition 1, if this is true, we execute something. If that is false, else key, then you give a space, and after that again you write if. So condition 2, and you will have a separate statements for that, and here you will have else, then we have if, and you write condition 3, right? And we have some statements over here, and so on, and finally we'll have a else, right? Wherein you'll write all the statements. Okay, Nana? There won't be if for the last else. Okay, when do you come to the else, last else?
If all the statements are.
If all the statements in the, all the conditions in the ifs are false, then we'll come to the last else, right? Or if any of the if is true, then what we do? If any if condition is true, what happens?
There it stops the repeat break.
Yeah, so if any if is true, for example, this second if is true, we execute all the statements in that block, and you just come out of that ladder, right?
Yes, sir.
Very good. So how do you represent this? You can represent with a flowchart like this. Okay, you know this flowchart, right? So every time if the condition is false, then only you'll go to the next if, right, ma? Whenever it is true, we execute some statements in that statements, and you just come out, right?
Yes.
Okay, this is how you do this, okay? And for finally, you will have a last if else. True aithe idi, false aithe idi అన్నట్టుగా వచ్చి వస్తుందండి కింద. ఇది తీసుకొచ్చి ఇక్కడ జాయిన్ చేస్తాం, రైట్? తెలుసు కదా, ఇది మీకు నోట్స్ లో ఉంది ఇది, రైట్? సో అలాగే వాట్ ఈస్ ద బెస్ట్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఫర్ దిస్ else if ladder, ma? What is the program? We enter marks of a student, and based on the marks we select the grade, right? That is called else if ladder. Okay, and finally we have a once multi selection statement that is called a switch, right? So the syntax for the switch is switch. Inside switch we don't call it as a condition, we call it as expression, right? And here we'll have a case, label 1, and a set of statements, case, label 2, some set of statements, case, label n, and we have some set of statements, and finally we have a default case with some set of statements. This is how your switch statement looks like, right? Okay, can anyone tell me what is this expression? When I was explaining this concept, actually I said one important point about this expression. What is the type of this expression, ma? It should be
Integer or character constant.
okay, we call it as integral type. Integral type. What do you mean by integral? It can be a character or it can be integer. Integer. Why I said that expression should be an integral type or character or integer? Because all the labels can be, not for the default, okay, All the labels can be of a character type or integer type only. Can we have a float number as a label for the case?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So we don't use ma. Okay, so that is error actually. Okay, so we write that case 1, case 10, case 3, otherwise case A in single quote, case B in single quote. That is how we write the cases, right? So when we are discussing about the syntax of the switch statement, we didn't mention that break is not part of the switch syntax, right? But we have to use break for what purpose? What is the need of a break in this?
If we didn't use break, sir, even though its condition is true, it executes all below statements also, sir.
Okay, that's absolutely right, Nana, right? So if we are just forgot to use the break statement, for example, all the statements in the case 2 and all the cases including default, the total statements will get executed. That's not what we wanted to implement, right? We wanted only the corresponding case whose label is matched. We execute that statements and we just want to come out of the switch statement. For that, we have to use the break. Okay, so that's the logic of the break. If you're not using break, okay, whenever a label is matched or whenever a case is matched, it executes that case and as well as all its following cases, including default, right, ma? So that is the problem with this switch statement, right? Is that clear? Okay, is it mandatory to write default in every switch statement or can we remove that?
Necessary, sir.
Okay. Default compulsory రాయాలా మనం?
Yes, sir.
మీరేమైనా ప్రోగ్రామ్ చేసి చూసారమ్మా ఎప్పుడన్నా?
Yes.
Okay, so can you see the screen, Nana?
Yes, sir.
యా కనిపిస్తుందమ్మా, అవుట్పుట్ కనిపిస్తుందా? ఏమా?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so did we write default?
No, sir. No, sir.
ఏమర్థమైంది? Okay, so do we need break in every switch statement? Is break antunna default in every switch statement, is it mandatory?
No, sir. No, sir.
So obviously no, right? So that's a thing then. Okay, so we write the default only if you want to say that you are entered some wrong choice or something, right? So for example, if I'm running this program, if I enter 2, it says that we are in case 2. If I enter 3, it says that we are in case 3, right? Okay. For example, if I enter some 4 or 5, which is not belongs to any case, it doesn't print anything. Okay. So in that case, if I want to include, or if I want to say that you entered a wrong choice, in that case, I use this mark. Default, we say that printf you entered wrong choice, right? So that's the thing. Like if I want to include it for this telling that you entered a wrong choice or something, then you can use the default ma, right? For example, if I enter some 7, it says that you entered a wrong choice, right ma? If I don't want to tell that, okay, you can omit the default ma. Okay, so there is no problem in that. Okay, and another thing, can I write this default at beginning before the case 1?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so before the case 1, ఏమొచ్చింది నాన్న?
డిఫాల్ట్ స్టేట్మెంట్.
డిఫాల్ట్ తర్వాత బ్రేక్ కూడా రాయాలి సార్.
ఓకేనా? సో default వచ్చేసి మనం why we don't write default basically means most of the times the default is the last statement in the switch statement, so that's why we don't write break. But if you are writing default anywhere other than the last place, you have to write the break also, right? Otherwise the following case also will get executed, right ma?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so is it
Yes, sir.
needed that I should write all my cases in some kind of a sequence or something? Case 1 తర్వాత case 2 నే రాయాలి, case 2 తర్వాత case 3 రాయాలి, అలా ఏమన్నా ఉందా? జంబుల్ చేసి రాస్తే ఇష్టం.
No, sir.
What do you mean by no? రాయొచ్చా రాయకూడదా?
We can, sir.
Yeah, so there is no need of writing something in an order manner, right? Wherever you write, there is no problem. It's not should be in a sequence or something, right? Can I write 2 default statements?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So it says that multiple default labels in one switch case, that is an error, right ma? Okay. Can you see that? Okay. Can I write same cases with same labels? Can I have 2 cases with same number, same label? So obviously no, it says that you are using a duplicate case value. right? Is my screen is updated? Okay. So that's the thing. And another thing is actually, okay, we basically don't write this. Okay. Look at this, ma. Okay. I'm writing something like this. Look at this. So case 10 colon case 12 colon. Can I write something like this without any body or statements in that case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is the one that is you when you enter 10 or 12 or 3, that executes the case 3 body mark, right? You can see that when I entered 10, it says that we are in case 3, right? So that means we can write a case and a label without any statements in that block. So what happens if that case is matched? The following cases which are having the statements will be get executed. Is that clear, ma? Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is how you can experiment with this switch case, right? Okay, so can I say that can I use if statement inside switch statement? Can I use if inside switch? చెప్పండి. ఉన్నారా? మాట్లాడండమ్మా. Yes or no?
No, sir.
ఏదో చెప్పండి. అవునా? సరే. Okay, so just look at this now. So what I'm doing here.
Sir, scan if sir printed. Sir, semicolon, sir. Mod 2.
Scan effluent effort.
వాయిస్ వినిపిస్తుందా మీకు?
Yes, sir. What we did discussing.
సో దీన్ని బట్టి ఏమర్థమైందమ్మా మీకు? వాట్ డిడ్ యు అండర్స్టాండ్ విత్ దిస్? మా ఉన్నారా? మాట్లాడండి, ఏమర్థమైంది?
Inside switch case.
So we can use if else inside inside some
Switch cases.
yeah, very good. So look at this Nana. ఓకే, ఒకసారి ఇలా చూడండి నాన్న. దీన్ని బట్టి ఏమర్థమైందన్న? వాట్ డిడ్ యు అండర్స్టాండ్ దిస్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్?
We can also use for loop.
Yeah, so inside the switch statement we can use for loop, while loop, switch statement, if else or nested if else, whatever. Okay, so if you want to execute something or if you want to write a logic that need all these things, you can combine all these things, Nana, right? So there is no problem in that. Is that clear? Right? అర్థమైందా? ఓకే నాన్న, మీకు అవర్ 50 minutes అన్నా?